first because that's just how it
Well,
should be.
and we're going before beauty.
We're going live. You guys are gonna rock it. Whoo! Here we go.
Hey, tag me, Shane.
And welcome to Hemp Your Health. I'm Christy Thiel, Director of Education at Seed System and your host. Today, we are voting for health, and our health needs to be built, maintained, and have a strong reserves at all time. If anyone has ever lost their health, you know how important it is to get it back, and that it's easier to maintain than it is to get back. However, this system, our health, is also very resilient and regenerative. And today is our very first health and fitness show with our very own 3 experts. I'm going to introduce them and we're going to roll this out, and we have so much to share with you. So our first expert is the lovely Rebecca Thomas. She has a degree in kinesiology from the University of Wisconsin, and she owns a studio in New Orleans called GWI Fit. Gotta Want It Studio, Fit Studio. And she sees clients here, and she is just a true soldier in the health and fitness field, as you will learn. And Cam Angus in Nashville, Tennessee. And he is the founder of Strides Life and Wellness. He is a level 1 Czech practitioner, as in Paul Chek, and stick mobility movement coach. He brings a holistic approach to exercise and to help his clients regain control over and for their health. And then, of course, I hope a lot of you recognize Brant Quick. He has been on the front lines with us at Seed System as a pioneer in this field and bringing the benefits of hemp to his community. He is a health and fitness professional focusing on speed, strength, conditioning, health coaching, and is a USA triathlon coach. His mission is to help as many people as possible to be their absolute best self in all ways. And personally, I can vouch that he is always expanding his scope of knowledge to help people in as many ways as possible. Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for taking time away from your busy schedule to be on Hemp Your Health. Hello. We have a lot to talk about, so I want to dig right in about your personal stories, and we'll start with Rebecca about what got you curious about CBD in the first place, personally and professionally.
I first started because I grew up with a very ill mom. She has asthma, and she has in the 5 to 10% range where she has severe asthma, and her bronchial feature is smaller than mine. So as she's got aged, they keep giving her more and more medicines. So she's been on a drug called prednisone, which is a very strong steroid. And she's been on it for over 45 years. What it's done is actually broken down her body. She has had a double knee replacement. She's had hip replacement. She actually has titanium rods for tarsals and feet. Well, you can't go through life and possibly live in all those pharmaceuticals. So she's actually gone into pulmonary arrest and then cardiac arrest and has died of it 6 times. So we paddle her and she keeps coming back. So the doctor goes and says, bring us all of your meds. And she brings all the meds and he goes, oh my God, if pharmaceuticals don't kill you, the asthma will. So he looks at all that and he takes her off everything and he puts her on 3 things. And then he says, and then try CBD oil. And I look at him and I'm like, she has legitimately died. I'm not just going to give her oil. And he says, try it. And so we start researching it and the inflammation in it. And it's amazing. And she hasn't died in 4 years. And we celebrate that by saying, hey, if we get her a cake, we say, thank you for not dying. I know that seems morbid to some people, but that's how we live in our family. We have to laugh about it. So I don't have a suitcase packed anymore in my closet. She's living, she's walking around. So I take that to my own daily life. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm nonstop. I don't stop until my head hits the pillow. So it's, what can I do to reduce my stress, my cortisol levels? And a couple drops a day has really helped me be able to actually get that deep sleep that I need and the relaxation that I think we all need for our overactive, overscheduled lives.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to pick your brain after the show about prednisone. My dad just got off prednisone, and it is a nasty steroid and a muscle wasting steroid. And I'd love to hear more about that. Thank you. That's really personal. And family is definitely a really nice way to get into this, because there needs to be more alternatives than just synthetic and pharmaceutical drugs. Cam, how about you? What drew you to CBD?
So I've always been pretty interested in the plant in general. Just being from Nashville, there's not really like a lot of talk about it or really like anything out here about it. So in high school, I just decided to do a research paper on it. And then that sent me down the rabbit hole. And then just over the years, I've fallen more and more in love with CBD. And applying it into my own life has shown a lot of benefit. You guys mentioned prednisone. So I actually dealt with psoriasis for 5 years, which is autoimmune stress. So I'm clear of it now. Skin's back to normal. So just clearing out all that stress and inflammation has really been beneficial in my life.
Wow, thank you. And truly, stress is a common thread that we can probably all say that CBD has helped us with, and it's considered the #1 silent killer. So it's really important that we keep those levels down. And Brant, what about you? What drew you to CBD?
Well, I had I've always been interested in cannabis and I've researched it for a long time. And then I had a really good friend and client who was in a really, really bad car accident. She was hit from all sides. So all 4 sides, had a traumatic brain injury, spinal injuries. Doctors had her on, steroids, prednisone, had her on painkillers. And here's a woman who is, she was a nurse at the highest level, in Chicago, and she would actually, dealt with the organ transplant, donor centers and things like that. So, her health and her family's health was paramount in her life. And so to watch her go from being, at the top of her game and doing triathlons and, being in the best shape of her life to then, being in the state where she really couldn't do anything. She was sensitive to light. She had gained a ton of weight because of the prednisone and because of the, the painkillers and everything. And it gave her such an appetite. And so it was just this vicious cycle that she was going through, and it really wasn't therapeutically helping her. So, we found CBD, and it really helped her a ton. And so we were able to kind of wean her off of the medications. And what we found is that she was able to get back to activity. She was motion is lotion, right? So she got back to, being in the gym and really, increasing her cerebrospinal fluid production, synovial fluid production, the endorphins were going back up. She was still sensitive to light. So we had to work out, and train in somewhat of darkness and things like that. But to watch her recovery, with CBD as opposed to the pharmaceuticals, which, look, Western medicine is needed, for a variety of different things. There's no question about it. I think a well-balanced, both, natural and pharmaceuticals are needed at certain times, right? So we use them for what we need them for. But to watch her miraculous recovery and being able to wean off of those medications was really incredible in my eyes. And so, then for myself, I started using it, just kind of microdosing for, recovery benefits and, just for, all the preventative benefits that, as a prophylactic for many different things. What I found is that, I also was a little bit less anxious. Not that I'm anxious, but I'm a very type A kind of 300 miles an hour. And that's really it, for me. So, when I do take CBD, I feel myself talking a little slower and, just being a little bit more present, a little bit more aware. There's space between, thoughts and things like that. So on the mental side, that's it. But then from there, I started really, helping, my dad with it. We helped him with it with his back and some of my other family members. members, and now it's just kind of a household thing, right? It's kind of what we use. This plant is amazing, and it's amazing for a variety of different things. My son uses it now. We use it for him, at night for sleep and for the preventative benefits as well. My wife uses it for, her back and for, a variety of different things too. Like the other night, she was all worked up about something, and she's like, "How much do I take of the tincture, the 3,000 milligram gold, tincture?" And I said, "Here's what you do." So anyway, so that's how I got into CBD and what brought me here today.
This is real. All of this is incredible. And I do think that CBD and the endocannabinoid system does start on a very personal level, looking for solutions because like we've talked about on other shows, stress is thoughts, toxins, and traumas. And there's no one that doesn't have some form of stress in their lives or their family's lives, and having solutions is really key. So Brant, you brought up recovery, which is our next topic, and working and speaking with athletes and CrossFitters and weekend warriors and people that just want to maintain their fitness over the last several years. A lot of them have shared that CBD has helped with their recovery, sometimes up to 50%. Now, just curious, in your professional opinion, does recovery help with some of the soreness or the inflammation or the motivation? How do you use it, and do you use it for recovery? Rebecca.
Well, I use it for recovery because I really work out pretty hard, and I use it as a stress reliever. My exercises are, but you got to reduce that inflammation if you want anything kind of for my muscles to grow, to be able to keep my body in shape. And I use the droplets, I use the salve. I will lie to you and tell you I'm 29. I am not. And what ends up happening is things don't always go the way I want them anymore. So you have to be able to calm that mind so that your body can actually rest and heal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Inflammation is really what's causing the pain from not even over exercising, just that breakdown and recovery, and then inflammation is the result. And no one really wants to. I like feeling sore, but a lot of people won't exercise if they feel sore, which is so silly, but it's a nice way to help them with that inflammation. Cam, how do you use hemp personally and or professionally for recovery?
So I am a former collegiate hockey player. So there's a little bit of wear and tear on the body. So whenever you work out, sometimes it's just from being an athlete, you're going to have stuff pop up, but having something that I can put in that will help take that soreness away, help with that inflammation is huge. So my little regimen that I do is I go pretty heavy with it before bed. And I love the way that I wake up. I wake up in the morning, there's no stiffness, there's not a lot of soreness. It's just, I can wake up, I feel refreshed and ready to take the day head on. It's an amazing feeling.
Wow. So you use sleep as medicine.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Brant, do you use hemp for recovery?
I use it for everything, but yes. Recovery in our world, it equals two things, right? Sleep and proper nutrition. Hydration would be included in proper nutrition, right? So, so that alone, I think in one great piece of feedback we always get from our clients, and even myself, but from our clients, who use it, they may be using it for knee pain or for elbow pain or, just some form of inflammation or to recover. But what they find is that they sleep very, very well. It's one of the most common healthy side effects of using CBD, especially, our vapor distilled CBD, which is awesome. So, the capsules, the tinctures, those things are really awesome, for me and kind of like I microdose throughout the day. And just, because I wake up and, my neck and shoulder, like Cam, I was a collegiate football player. And so running into brick walls over and over again, many times since I was 5 years old has kind of added up, and the plethora of things going on. But, my neck, my shoulder, I have some tears and things like that. And so I'll wake up and microdose, and it just takes that edge off, and it's perfect throughout the day. And then in the afternoon, I may, take one of our 20 25 milligram vapor distilled gel caps. And then before I go to bed, it's tinctures, our gold 3000 milligram tincture every single night of my life. And that's actually what my son gets. We give him about, anywhere between 5 and 10 drops of the gold tincture at night too. And ever since we started doing that, he doesn't have, bad dreams and things like that anymore. But I can tell you that the way that I feel, if I don't take it as opposed to when I do take it, which I don't, when I don't take it is very, very rare. But there's a big difference in the two, so just helping me throughout my day, and helping me to kind of, there's just that ease of motion, when I do take it, inflammation is reduced, and there's a, variety of other health benefits that are going on as well.
Oh, I love this. And I want to address that. What do you mean by microdosing? Because some people may not be familiar with that term.
Sure. So microdosing would probably be more relative to each individual. Someone who's been using cannabis for a long time, microdosing could be 5 to 10 milligrams for them. For me, it's usually about, 2.5 milligrams, just about every 2 to 3 hours. And it just helps me immensely, throughout the day. And then I'll kind of increase that in the afternoon to evening time as I am getting ready to go to bed for the night. But microdosing, you don't, like, I can't tell you that a microdose for you will be 2.5 to 5 milligrams. It's something that you're going to have to, CBD is an adaptogen. So it's going to adapt to your body and your system the way that, your body is meant to use it and needs to use it. So, for me, I just know that, after titrating, up and down and things like that 2.5 milligram to 5 milligram range for me is good. So microdosing, we can still get great benefits at a cellular level, but we don't need to take an astronomical amount of it to do so.
It's great. That's great information, because a lot of people do feel like more is better, and it's not. And people do need to get up to a therapeutic serving size where it is addressing the vastness of the system. But once they feel that nudge on the endocannabinoid system and all the systems that it's supporting, it's really, up to being intuitive about it and respecting what that means on a daily and moment to moment basis. So our next topic is injuries. And I'm sure, I hope you, I'm sure all of us have had a head injury, whether it's falling off a bike or a sports injury or just a car accident, something where we bumped our head. And so injuries as we age take longer and longer to recover from. And left unresolved, they can also cause long-term damage to different systems. So how do you explain to your audience how to use this prophylactically if someone's had injuries and or if they want to prevent injuries? And what products do you recommend for injuries and prevention? Rebecca.
Well, I can speak first. About 3 weeks ago, I was feeling good. The weather was feeling nice. So I went into Man Makers and I was doing power cleans and I was a superstar. I was 29. And then I came home and I watched 3 cars and I hand waxed them because, I haven't done that many times over COVID, but I was just on fire. And so I take a shower and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, oh, what's going on? My back had seized up. And so I was like, oh God, maybe I'm not 29. So the next day I actually trained a neurosurgeon and he looked at me and he's, oh, you pulled some paraspinal muscles. And he's like, I'm going to give you this and this anti-inflammatory and a muscle relaxant. I'm like, whoa. If that's all I did, I can fix that. So I took the lavender salve and I rubbed it on my back like it was, like it was going on stuff. I was just rubbing it all over. And I was taking drops and I'm like, oh my God, something's got to give because I got to work. I got to be able to function. And he goes, well, it's going to take you about 2 weeks to heal. Well, let me tell you, it takes the same amount if I was doing something natural, if you were going to just pump steroids into me. So it was just stretching and rubbing salve. I did the lavender one. I do have the cayenne one, but let me tell you, I can't do it around my clients. It smells a little funny sometimes. I feel like I grew up with Tiger Balm, okay, because I have an Asian house. All Asians have Tiger Balm, and that thing will reek up your house. Everybody knows you got Tiger Balm. You're like, what's wrong with that Asian? She's got Tiger Balm on. So I can't do it because it takes me back. But the lavender is great because I was able to work on it. Nobody could smell me. And I was able to heal. So knowing now that I should have, probably taken a little bit of a break, I could have done it. but be able to heal from it and not have to take the meds, that the scripts that he gave me, it was worth it. And it was really nice to be able to know that this can work as a natural ibuprofen and take care of me.
Oh, yeah. How long did it take you to recover?
About a week and a half, don't judge. I was stretching every day. I was doing yoga. And if anybody knows me, yoga is very hard for me. This slows me down. If you couldn't tell, yoga is not doesn't come easy to me, but I'm learning to get better at it because I think I'm not to that point where I have to.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And it's so liberating to hear from all of you that you're using something natural and sort of using your own intuition and your own personal medical and professional experience to say, the body's natural. And if we use things natural, there's going to be less side effects. And you recovered half a week earlier than he was even suggesting, with no side effects except for health.
Exactly. So
I love that.
yeah.
Cam,
I didn't
how
like being hurt, but it was fun. It was a learning experience.
yeah, and I wish that we could all avoid being hurt, but we can't live in a bubble, and it's better to recover than to, in my opinion, to be overly cautious, because the body's resilient and adaptive if it has what it needs.
Yeah.
Cam, how and what do you use for recovery and injury prevention, etc.?
So injury prevention, I usually just go with the tincture, spray bottle, my favorite. But what I have been doing just to kind of stay on top of my body and keep the muscles where they need to be is using the topicals during massages. So the nourishing coconut, to have your massage therapist use that, is life-changing. And then if you have some of those super gummed up tight areas, like from text neck or just looking down all day, the cayenne, the heat from that just pops everything wide open. And it was the best massage of my life. I love it. But as far as staying on top of it, that's what I do. And then just with pain, spot treatment, usually just with the topical, like rub a little bit here, and we'll see what happens. But if it's anything like global with the big muscle soreness, headaches, anything like that, it's tinctures or the pills for me.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. And a lot of people won't put this in their body. So just having a topical is great. And like Rebecca was saying, when you have injury or trauma to a specific area, your body actually up-regulates the receptors on your skin. And it's really beneficial to get as much hemp on there as possible. Brant, I'd love to hear how you use this for injury prevention and injuries in general.
Absolutely. So, injury prevention, I mean, I kind of went over my regime and how I do things throughout the day now. And I didn't always microdose, throughout the morning either. But what I found is that my body just is really stoved up in the morning. Many of y'all can probably relate to, especially training as hard as we do. So you kind of wake up and I have these areas. So that's what brought me and led me to the microdosing. So that's, it's therapeutic, but it's also preventative to a degree. And then, as I get into the evening hours, I'll start to kind of ramp it up a little bit more. I do use the balms, around my body in different areas, as needed, hot spots, as I would call them, use them for my wife, like for her back and, certain things. And even, to be honest with you, we do have pet tinctures. I use them with my pets, but like my dog had she had a little spot on her ear, which was like a little scab that wouldn't go away. So I took the nourishing coconut, started putting that on there. And interestingly enough, then whatever was left on my hand, I would rub it on like the back of her mane. Right. And she slept like a champ. So it's pretty neat seeing that. But so as far as, prevention goes, that's how I use it. The injuries are more, the bath bombs are great. I love using the bath bombs, to soak. I'll do an Epsom salt bath with the bath bombs and that really helps, absorb transdermally and help out a lot. And then just, the balms. And I don't know if many people know this either, but some of the balms like the nourishing coconut, and like the 3,000 milligram, the big bottle, those are actually edible too. So you can actually eat them. It's not just, and you get some good coconut oil, medium chain fatty acids from those and things like that. So it is nourishing in a variety of ways other than just the CBD. There's some nourishment from the, medium chain fatty acids and MCTs that are in there as well. So yeah, that's, pretty much how I guess I use both for, preventative and then for the, the injury portion of it.
This is good. And thank you for bringing up pets, because pets do get sore and inflamed from long hikes and over exercising too. And I always give my pets, my dogs, a little extra CBD after more exercise than normal. So this is our last question, and I would love for you guys to add any of your favorite health tips. It doesn't have to have anything to do with CBD, but anything that you're passionate about too. So my last question is, the endocannabinoid system is not well understood in the health and fitness industry or communities. So how do you explain it to your clients when, like, how would you, if they're like, well, how does this work and what is the endocannabinoid system? Is there a way that you can explain it that makes sense for the people that are very, are hearing it for the first time? Rebecca.
Well, the way I explain CBD to my clients is, you have to think of it as, like I've said it before, it's like a natural anti-inflammatory, something that we can put in our bodies to help calm our mind. Think of it as an SSRI if you have to. Something that gets your body, you need to be able to just stop for a second and let your body heal. And if we can do that, you can actually help balance your hormones. You can get deeper sleep. There's depending on the person. I mean, I can tell you that, I can help you with arthritis, to being able to, I don't know, my mom be able to just calm down and breathe. It's something, it's so much that you can't even describe it all to a client when they're like, well, I don't want to take pot. Well, wait a second. I'm talking about CBD oil. There's, I don't know, it's a long conversation. I feel like I'm rushing myself and then I'm going to talk really fast.
No, this is some profound information, and you're spot on. It's really hard to pin, and you can't define it in one way, because there's so many things, from arthritis to lungs to sleep to calming.
Yeah.
I love this. Do you have any favorite health tips or things that are like you're passionate about right now that you would share with the audience about health, nutrition, fitness in general?
Still me? Okay.
Yes, you.
Well,
It does nothing to do with CBD, just your own personal philosophies.
I just tell people they got to keep moving. I don't care if you're 80 or 8. The worst thing we could do is we sit all day. I don't care if you get a stability ball to sit on. I don't care if you get a standing desk. You just don't sit. You got to keep moving. I'm not saying doing 100 million jumping jacks and burpees every day, but the worst thing we can do is be sedentary and just accept that's the way life is. I have so much energy that I want people to understand. I will give you as much energy as I can give you, but if it helps you keep moving and motivates you, then that's completely worth it.
Wow, that is so profound. Absolutely. And from going from being a personal trainer to sitting on my butt almost every day.
All right.
No, it's true. And it's like this karma I had from telling people that for years. And when they say that sitting is the new smoking, it's absolutely true. I've seen my body deteriorate faster since I've been sitting than any other time, from any injury, etc. So that is pivotal and fundamental. Do not sit, stand, walk, move, get a ball like Cam's sitting on. But
I knew it. I was wondering why you were about to.
It gives me something to do.
Thank you for that. That's so helpful and such a good reminder. Cam, if someone says to you, like, I've never heard of the endocannabinoid system, seems made up to me, how do you explain what that is in layman's terms?
Well, in Tennessee, that is very common that someone would say something like that. Or it's, oh, CBD, that'll get me high. Like, I mean, it's different. Same, but different. So I kind of just describe it as, there are a ton of things that it can benefit for you. Like we've discussed in this conversation, the stress being pivotal, but also the recovery, just after workouts. But everyone in the gym, so I'm in a big bodybuilder gym, that's what we cater to, and I'm kind of the one that doesn't do that. But so all these guys, gals, it's all about, you know, the harder, faster, bigger, stronger. So, you know, slam in pre-workout, slam in amino acid, slam in protein. So we take all these supplements that, you know, hype us up, get us up, take us up the mountain, as I call it. So we need something to bring us down the mountain. So something that's going to help calm us down and bring the whole system into harmony. Not, you know, we're way gassed up and jacked up, like calm down. And just use it for the relaxation. That's where I get the most use out of it whenever I talk to people. And then that comes all the way around to what I'm passionate about right now outside of fitness or outside of CBD is just allowing yourself 10 minutes a day to come down the mountain. So we wake up stressed, and then we go to the gym, we stress our body even more physically and mentally. We come home, we get on Facebook, we read political stuff, whatever else is happening in the world, gets us going even more. And so we just keep going up this hill. And then we have such a far way to come down whenever we try and go to bed. So just allow yourself to come halfway down the hill, take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it may be, and go from the day from there.
Wow. I love that. And relaxation is not as easy as people may think if you don't practice it. It is definitely a practice because it's easy to get so tuned in. And, you know, I like that going up the mountain. It's like, it does. All this stuff is like an uphill experience. And relaxation does not mean sedentary. It doesn't mean that it's going to put you out. It means you're going to get present and still the mind and listen to your inner voice, which is where all of our best advice should be coming from. Thank you. Yeah, I need to relax more. Brand, I am so excited. Let's say I'm your client and I am just like, I have heard so much about the CBD thing, but the endocannabinoid system, is this for real? What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think people really understand that, you know, our body actually produces cannabinoids that are natural. So hence endo, meaning within. So endocannabinoid, a little Latin for you. I took that in high school, but endocannabinoid system. So it's within us. It actually, you know, our body produces those cannabinoids. We take exogenous cannabinoids with CBD, you know, like we do. And the way I like to think about it is this. So, you know, if you think about our body, all the systems of our body work together, and the endocannabinoid system is like, it's like a bridge. So, you know, when we have cannabinoids in our body, if you think about like the interstate, you can just fly down, and then there are different vessels off of the interstate. So I like to think of the endocannabinoid system as the interstate, and then all the other systems of our body are connected to that. And so when we can plug the gaps and in the endocannabinoid system that may be there, and we create these bridges from, you know, the endocannabinoid system into the other systems of the body, we allow all of our systems to be able to work properly and efficiently and at the highest possible level, you know, in the most efficient level that we possibly can. So, you know, you think about your endocrine system, you think about your reproductive system, you think about your neurological system, you know, your neuromuscular system. So I'm just throwing out a few right now, but all those things have to live in harmony and balance. And so as we give our body exogenous cannabinoids, it helps to plug those gaps in the system. And then that way everything can function properly. So that's the way that I like to think about it, you know, kind of putting that visual to it. And that's just me, you know, but our body does make this awesome stuff. But sometimes there's some hiccups and gaps in the system. And so if we can plug those up and shore them up, then our systems are going to work, you know, more properly or as well. So, and I think, you know, to Cam's point as well, like he's talking about in his gym with all these bodybuilders, and it was awesome listening to what you just said about just, we wake up stressed, we go stress our body more with exercise, right? And it's just this constant uphill fight of stress, you know, throughout. And people take all these pre-workouts and, you know, I'm gonna take some protein and I'm gonna take a, you know, a pre-workout, and then I'm gonna take one halfway through my workout to get even more jacked up. Might even drink an energy drink, right? So like, you know, people are trying to get so pumped up, but you know, what about CBD and cannabis as a performance enhancer? I can tell you that when I drop some CBD and I go out and, you know, I go out on my long rides with my triathletes and things like that, like crushing some hills, tends to be a little bit more tolerable and a little bit, I'll say, easier to a degree, right? And so, titrate things to yourself, use it for different things, notice the differences in your body when you do take it as opposed to when you don't take it. Take notes if you need to, write down how many milligrams you take, because what works for me and what works for you and all of us here on this call could be totally different, so from the performance enhancement aspect, I think that it has a lot of great future there as well, and I know some people are dabbling in that, and I've found personally that it does work well for me. As far as advice goes, the one thing I can tell y'all is to, it really doesn't matter what age you are. And if you're a parent, start to work with your kids on this at whatever young age they are, to help them throughout their life, because it doesn't matter how good of health you're in. If you're in optimal health, if you're at ultra health, you still have to make decisions every day that either lead to your habits of disease or your habits of health, right? So if we can make more decisions in that habits of health category, that's going to help us over the long run to be the healthiest and best versions of ourselves. So wrangle your habits. We have 6 macro habits of health, right? And we work with one of those big macro habits with it, which is healthy motion. Okay? And we can talk to our clients about other things too, like, healthy weight management, healthy nutrition and hydration, healthy mind, healthy sleep, healthy surroundings. Those are our 6 macro habits of health. So we can talk about all those other things, but if we're only spending time in the gym or wherever we are, outside doing our fitness work with people, say, 2-3 hours a week, it's all those other hours in the week that, they're having to make decisions. So the more educated we can be on all 6 of those macro habits of health, and the more we can help to bring those things together. And obviously CBD has its place in there in our optimal health, and just kind of dialing things in to that last little degree to where your water's boiling, you are at ultra health. And then, then at that point, when you develop these habits, now you're on autopilot, for the rest of your life. If you continue to make those decisions, right, and you've really worked at that, then, health is just something that it emanates in you and around you, as opposed to you having to really think so hard about it. So if I could leave you with any advice, it'd be wrangle those 6 macro habits of health. And it's a constant journey and a constant work in progress, but, continue to work at it and be the best version of yourself.
Oh my gosh, I love this. And it does. I mean, we have a body, we have all these common threads. We have the common thread of stress. We all need recovery, relaxation, sleep, and we can keep that resilience and the reserves there, so that we're not constantly on that tipping point. And we all know those people that are on the tipping point. We don't want to be there. So this has been so fun, and I am learning so much. And to me, you're all just such brilliant experts in your field of health and fitness. And I hope everyone listening appreciates the time that they have taken to share their wisdom and their brilliance with us. How does our audience get a hold of you if they have questions about something personal, or maybe they want to work with you remotely, or if they're in the area? Rebecca, how can people get a hold of you, and what's the best contact for you?
It'd probably just be an email. It's rthomas.nola, NOLA, @gmail.com.
Thank you. And I'll put this in the notes if it's not there already, so everyone has access to that. Cam, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Easiest way would be on Instagram, and that's at CamAngus68.
Excellent. Thank you. And Brant?
I'm on Instagram as well at BeQuickFitness. Also on Facebook, just myself, but I'm kind of getting close to maxing out on friends. So if you want to follow me there, send me a message. You certainly can. I'm also on LinkedIn there as well. So, that, or you can email me like Rebecca, I'm at Gmail as well, bqfitness@gmail.com. And I can certainly get in touch with you, help you with whatever you need.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. So everyone listening, thank you for making time for yourself, for your health, for your education. Please join our team like these experts have, and contribute to your own well-being and others. And just vote for health. It's natural. Everyone deserves it. Everyone can have it. And thank you all so much. You are our first panel of experts, and this is going to go a long way in helping people feel like they've got control, and there's something proactive that they can do for their health and their prevention. Till next time, thank you. Everyone, check them out. Oh, bye for now. And remember to hemp your health. Bye.